So who will be the first person to hold this title in 2023? I think, and at the time of this podcast recording, it hasn't been announced, and I wouldn't imagine it'll be announced until after Backlash, because we know that the champion will be crowned at Night of Champions. I would imagine that we're going to get either an 8 or a 16-man tournament to crown a new World Heavyweight Champion. And the reason I think there's going to be a tournament is because it would fully explain why the King of the Ring was canceled. Put the pieces together. I feel like I'm Charlie Day on Always Sunny, making my cork board with the yarn in between each clue. King of the Ring is canceled. It's replaced by Night of Champions. Of course, everybody goes, this is because Vince is back. And maybe it is. But I think now that we have all the clues, more logically, and maybe I'm wrong, right? We could find out that there's just, Triple H is just going to give it to LA Knight, and that'll be that. But I think much more logically is that King of the Ring tournament was canceled because we're doing another tournament, the World Heavyweight Championship tournament. I also think that Triple H, of all people, knows that a tournament is the best way to make a new champion, that just handing it to a guy isn't always the smartest thing. So, I think for me, right, I would love to see it be a 16-man tournament. You're going to have almost a full month to do it. So I would love to see the first round or first 2 rounds happen on Monday Night Raw. There's no reason why in a 3-hour show you can't do 2 to 3 first-round matches. With 16 men, you have 8 first-round matches. I think you can get the first round done in 3 weeks. And then theoretically, you're down to 8 men. So it's 4 first-round matches. You could do the first round of the tournament on the Raw before Night of Champions. This is probably how I would do it. I would do all the first-round matches of a 16-man tournament over the course of 3 weeks or however many weeks it is. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. Then, on the episode before Night of Champions, do the entire first round. So now you're down to 4 men. And those 4 men go to Night of Champions. So we've got the semifinals and the finals at Night of Champions. I think that the tournament, for example, assuming LA Knight's on Raw, LA Knight, for me, like that, this would be the time. The World Heavyweight Championship tournament would be the time to give LA Knight some shine. Let him get at least into the second round of that tournament. So he's in at least the conversation of, we see this guy with all the people we have on Monday Night Raw. When you go all the way to Night of Champions, I think Cody has to be in the short term. Now, there's 2 things you could do with Cody, right? You could do... Here's what I would do with... Well, there's 2 things I could do with Cody. My dream final match for this tournament is Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. That would be the one that I would want to see the most. Have Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes go to the finals of the new World Heavyweight Championship title tournament and have Seth Rollins finally beat Cody. I think that would be the moment that we're waiting for. Seth, after 3 hugely high-profile matches, Seth finally gets his win back from Cody. And Seth becomes the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. You do a few things there. You cash in on this Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes story that I think is a forever story. I think that Seth and Cody is the Batman and the Joker of Cody Rhodes in the WWE. Not Roman, Seth. And I think that it would allow Cody to have this amazing match. It would allow Cody to get a series of wins going for this tournament. And it would allow Cody to once again get hit with a setback that he has to build back up from. It would also maybe build a story as to why Cody even wants the World Heavyweight Championship. My other thing is to have Cody and Brock in maybe the semifinals of this tournament. And you could go one of two ways. You could have Brock beat Cody in Puerto Rico. And then in Saudi, semifinals is Cody versus Brock. Cody beats Brock. Then Seth beats Cody. So Seth comes back the world champion. But Cody comes back having two great matches and having defeated Brock Lesnar. That's how you save Cody, in my opinion. And maybe how you also get to either a Money in the Bank or a SummerSlam with one more Cody Rhodes Brock Lesnar match. You could also do the Hogan-Andre WrestleMania 4 situation where you have Brock and Cody announce, maybe there's a no contest in Puerto Rico. Then you have Brock and Cody announced with a bye going straight to the quarterfinals or the semifinals of this tournament. And then there's some kind of a no contest, maybe quarterfinals, and then there's a no contest. And that takes Cody out of the tournament if you don't want him to have a loss. But that's two no contests in a row with Brock. My personal opinion is Brock beats Cody in Puerto Rico. Cody beats Brock in the semifinals in Saudi, and then Seth beats Cody. I also think that Seth should hopefully win this. There's a couple of guys that could win this. I'd like to see Seth win it. And I absolutely think Cody shouldn't be anywhere near it. I think Cody Rhodes being the first World Heavyweight Champion is the one thing you could do to guarantee that this title feels like a consolation prize. I think then it's like, see, we wanted to give Cody the world title, but we didn't want Roman Reigns to beat him, which is not the energy you want at all. If Cody loses it in the finals, then he's got something to work towards, and maybe Cody eventually becoming World Heavyweight Champion doesn't feel so weird. I think the World Heavyweight title needs to build its credibility. And Seth Rollins is a guy who can build that credibility. Now, going forward, in June, you've got the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I still stand strong now even more than ever with the inclusion of the of the WWE Heavyweight Championship, with that coming back, more than ever. I think Logan Paul has to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. Think about it. Seth Rollins beat Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Before that, Roman Reigns beat Logan Paul. What does Logan Paul have to do, right? Logan Paul can't keep losing matches, but he also can't dip down in terms of the level of match he's having. So he goes to Money in the Bank. He wins the briefcase. Seth Rollins is the World Heavyweight Champion. And now Logan Paul is floating over Seth Rollins' head as Seth Rollins has banger matches with others and is telling other stories. Logan Paul is still floating there, and the realization sinks into fans, oh no, one day we very well might see Logan Paul beat Seth Rollins for that briefcase. We've also got the potential for Logan Paul at some point on a TV to cash in the briefcase, become the World Heavyweight Champion, go on a round of press as champion, and when we get to whatever pay-per-view is next, Seth Rollins can beat the blocks off him and get his title back. I'm just saying, these are good ideas.